Okay, rounding numbers. Now if I said to you, how much do you spend exactly on your shopping each week? Now it would vary, probably, if you're anything like me. So you couldn't give me an exact number. So you could tell me that it's roughly £25, £35, £40, or you could say, well, usually it's less than £50. Okay, now this is what you're doing here, is you're rounding numbers. Now if we look at number placement, okay, now if you remember when you were little, if we wrote, let's say we've got 2324. Okay, so here we have 4 units, 2 tens, 3 hundreds and 2 thousands. Okay, so this is what we call number placement. So where the number is dictates the value of the number. So here we could say, well, how many hundreds do we have here? So we have 3 hundreds. Here we have 2 thousands, and so on. So what we're doing is rounding to the nearest whatever unit, so it would be 1,000, 100 or tens or units sometimes, and giving our answer accordingly. Now when we round numbers from 0 to 4, okay, we round down. Okay, from 5 to 9 we round up. Okay, so let's say you had £32, and I said, to the nearest £10, how much have you got? Now we know these are the tens, 30. So we have the next number is the unit. So this is the number that we're going to round. Now because 2 is between 0 and 4, we would just round down. So this becomes 0. So this would become £30, because this is £30 to the nearest £10. Okay, nice and simple. So for example, if I had £47, then if we rounded to the nearest 10, now 7 is above 5, so we round up. So this is closer to 50 than it is to 40. So we would say that it's about £50. So we've rounded to the nearest 10. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So let's say we have 247 pounds. Now it doesn't have to be pounds, but I find that if you think in terms of money, you know, people can understand it a lot easier. Now if they said round this to the nearest £10, now the 200 is still going to be 200 because we're only rounding the tens. So the next number, as we did here, the next number 47, because that's all we're interested in, 47 is closer to 50 than it is to 40. So we would still have our 200, but it will be £250. Okay, so let's take another one. Let's say we've got 4,800 and 31. Now let's say they said to the nearest 100. Okay, so we go to our 100, which is the 800. Now we have the 31. Now, is 831 closer to 800 or closer to 900? Well, we know that 31 is closer to 800, so we would just write 4000 because that hasn't changed, the 800 because that hasn't changed, and these two numbers just change to 0 because we're rounding to the nearest 100. So 831 is closer to 800. So again, if we have 7,856, now if we round this to the nearest 100, we go to the hundreds, so we've got 800. So now is 856 closer to 800 or 900? Now 56 is more than the halfway mark, isn't it? Because 850 would be that halfway mark. So 856 is closer to 900. So we would have 7,000, because that hasn't changed, 900. These numbers just turn to 0. Okay, so let's say we have 4,965, and they say round this to the nearest 1,000. Now our thousands are here, 4,000. So we look at the next numbers. Now we have 965. So 965, is that closer to 5,000 or closer to 4,000? Well, we can see that 965 is very close to 5,000. So we can say that if it's rounded, we get £5,000. Okay, so that's pretty much it. You go to the units that we're interested in and you look at the next number or numbers and you say, what is it closer to? So here, the 2, is it closer to 30 or 40? Here, is it 47, is it closer to 50 or 40? Okay, here, if we're talking about hundreds, is 831 closer to 800 or 900? Okay, so this is just practice. Okay, if you get them wrong, nobody dies, nothing happens, nobody shouts at you. It's just practice. Okay, so give it a go and see how you get on. I'm sure you'll be fine.